BDC part 4.
No, it's not even that one. Maybe they will just post it. It is not even that one.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
so today's class we are going to talk about we are still going to talk about database, which is the last part of it. So,
Okay.
so yesterday I was able to record the joining of the tables, the subqueries, and the likes. So when you see the video, you're able to go through it. So today we are going to talk about the SQL functions. The
Okay.
SQL functions whereby you can be able to use of the aggregate functions. So the aggregate functions like the how to make use of the average, the sum, the count, the maybe you want to see the maximum number, the minimum number.
Okay.
So and we'll have to and that's what we are going to do today. Because if I said I should introduce you to the store procedure, so what the store procedure just is just like a storage for SQL query. So I can just show you a little bit of it, but for now, there is no need for you to put the energy into it for now because it is just by the way and it is being used maybe in the cases whereby there is a particular query that one is going to be using time to time. So and I already said you have to create a database table. So, but since you said you didn't have access to it, should have helped us very well for today's class because the database table you are going to create is going to assist very well so that you can able to interact very well with the SQL functions. Or let me check my own database, the little I have, so we're able to practice it and
Okay.
so I think that was going to be the last part. Let me
Okay.
just try and share my screen. So when talking about, for instance, one of the functions we talked about, I said we have the count. So what does count does is just that maybe you have a database, you have a table, and you want to know what you want to know the total number. So maybe you want to know the total number of data that is inside. That's when you can make use of the count. So for instance, this is my customers. So maybe okay, this is your orders and like so. For instance, this customer table, you want to know that okay, how many customers do you have? Then you can make use of the count function. So you make use of this count function like this set select count. Now so you put this asterisk inside. This asterisk means odd. Let's count out some customers. So now you can see that it's showing us that we only have just 3 customers. I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I see it. I see
So
the
it's
count
only
number. Yeah.
only telling us that we have 3 customers, and if you want to verify it, then we can check ourselves. So you can see that we have just only 3 customers. So same thing if you want to do the same thing to maybe from your orders or employees. See the number of employees do you have. So you can see that it enables you to see that okay, for you to get total number of counts. So if you have millions of data, so you can just make use of the count, then you are going to get it. So if it is a particular column that you want to see, for instance, let's say from this orders now. So you want to say that okay, you want to count the order date. How many is the order date? Since it is just 3, so you can put it as well. If you don't want it to if you don't want it to count or that particular column. If it is a particular column from the employee, let me say okay, the first name. the first name. So you can see. So if you want to count a particular column, you can do that as well. That is function of the count. So another one is just like the sum. From here now we have another function is the sum. So from this order table, you can see we have the order total. So assuming we have a numerous, I will send a link to you as well. So from there you can able to mock your data. You can use it to mock numerous data. So then you start interact with it instead of you inserting data and all, because you can mock thousands of data for you to interact with it. I send it to the channel. I don't know, maybe you have access to, but I'll send it to your WhatsApp when I'm done. So for this sum now, you can see we have 3,000, 5,000, 6,000. So, but you want to sum everything together, then you can make use of this by saying that using the sum function. So what did you want to sum? The order total, the column that you want to sum together. From which table? From the orders table. So then let us run the query. So you can see now that it shows us what 14,000.
Yes.
So one of the things I did was like you can make use of alias. I did the alias in the last class. That you don't want to see this sum order total. So you can just set like maybe the order total once they are okay. Total and total goods or something. Total. So you can see now.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah. So it is alias. It's part of what I did yesterday. It's just like you representing the information in another way instead of it representing like some other total. So okay, this is total goods is what 14,000. So that is one of the function. Another function that we have, just like we can make use of the average also. Maybe you want to see the average. You want to calculate the average total of everything. So maybe you can set average goods. Can represent the alias as well. Average goods. So once you check it, it's going to give you, so you can see, give you the total average of everything. So one of it, another one that we have the minimum and we have the maximum. So just put the min. So the more you practice it, the more you are going to have the idea of it, and especially when the need arise, that is when that okay, just know that this thing exists. So you have the minimum function. So I say okay, minimum order. Minimum order. You can see the minimum order that is there is what 3,000. And you can make use of what the maximum as well. So you can see the minimum order is 3,000, while the maximum order is what 6,000. So that's one of the functions, and also we also have the concatenation. We have the uppercase. So we have the lowercase. Maybe okay, you want to represent data in lowercase. So then it's going to print it out. For example, let's say this customer name. Yeah, the first name is in sentence. Can now want to make it to be in uppercase. What name from the company? Okay, first underscore. So you also have to make sure you look at the column name very well. So you can see. I
Yes.
don't know. So convert it to what? Let's say first name.
Uppercase.
Yes, that's what it does. So I don't know. Maybe you want to convert the last name as well to uppercase. Okay, last underscore name. Okay, can only do one there. So let's try the uppercase for the last name as well. So you can see. So that you have so many functions like that. We have the date as well. So I'll try. Let me check one of those I've worked with, so that the one that has date created inside of it. I think let me check this particular table. So for instance, this table now, when you check it, so it has date created. So one of the function that you have, just like, okay, maybe you want to know maybe you want to know the current date. So maybe out of data that you have, you want to know the current date, or you want to say it now. Once you said now, it also has a function that is called now. Down now means the current date, and it also has current date on its own. So if you check this database, we should be expecting it to bring an empty data for us, because we didn't add any data to this one. But it is what I have worked on before. Let me check the table name. So when you create your own multi database, then you'll be able to interact with it very well. So maybe like tomorrow class, maybe before tomorrow class, you should have come out with a lot of database. I will give you an assignment for you to come up with the database. I will send it to your WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll use that one to practice very well. Then before move on to before we did a general practice and all and the likes. And the class that you were not around, I'll just do a little overview as well, so that you need
Okay.
to understand very well. Let me just come back to this. So you can see that it is empty because there is nothing like the current date, no current date. But if you want to check a particular date, let me set right here now. You want to select date. You want to know the date because it has a function which is called date. Date from the what? The date created from the users. You can have access to it because it has a function date. Oh, you can see now. All this will be helpful when when we are writing a project and said, okay, we want you to write a query that is going to fetch date. So with this, it's going to be able to fetch the date. Maybe the user wants to filter something. So from there, it's going to be able to fetch it. So once I give you the class assignment, you're able to understand very well. And
Is it equals to what? I can't see that very well. Is it CUR date?
yes, current date, the function to represent the current date,
Okay.
CUR date. From here now, you can see it, you're able to specify only the date, but it is date time that is there. You can see we have the date and we have the time. But you are telling the system that, okay, it is only the date that you want the system to fetch. So if you want it to fetch only the time as well, you can just change it to time. Inside the date created from the what? From the user. You can see that it fetch only the time.
Okay.
So that is the sum of it. And if you want it to fetch only the year as well, you have a function that can give you only the year. You can see So there is year. So and also there is month as well. If you want the month also, it will function. So all this function, it is just saying that okay, it exists. And when you want to interact with it, then you can make use of it. You can say 99910. So that's one of the MySQL function, and assume we have a lot of tables now, we can interact with it. So I don't know, maybe Mr. Penny have any input to it. Mr. Penny, are you there? I don't know if you have any question also.
No. This is pretty clear. I don't have any question.
So that's one of the agree function. We have the uppercase, the lowercase, all those ones are like, you can call them the string function. So and the date function is one we'll be doing that will make use of the dates and the likes. So that's just about the SQL functions. So and you can as well use, let me just go through the last class again, the one I did yesterday, because I did the concatenation. Maybe you want to concat first name and the last name together. So this is it here. It is something like this. Alias is one that represents data. So you concatening it is also a function. So concat this, and so it's going to give you the first name, the last name, and information using, let me go and change my database name information back. So you can see
So
that
if you're
now.
using information, that's the database, right? Information is the database we are
Yeah,
pulling.
it's the database name.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is our database name. We have the information. We have another one. So when I want to go through data because of the date created, so it is under this ticket move booking task. So that is why I change it, because the database name that you want to execute, so you have to run it. If you put the wrong database name that doesn't contain the table, so you're going to flag an error that this particular table is not under this database.
Okay.
So that is why you can see now you can use the concatenation will enable you to, maybe you want to merge the first name and the last name together. So and actually I talked about the join. This is an example of the join.
So when you're concatenating, must you have the value you're using to concatenate before the column names? Because I can see you have the comma before first name and last name.
Yes, you have to have a value, because that value it just serve as the null value. For it to concat, you have to have it.
Okay.
Yeah. So about the join, I talked about the join as well. When you want to join two tables together. So when you are trying to join two tables together, you have to consider two things. Now I try to join, where is this table? Okay. I try to join the customer table and the orders table together. So number one factor that you have to take note, just that you have to take note that, okay, a particular column must have the same name, must exist between the customer and the employee. If you check this customer's table, you see that we have the customer ID, first name, the last name, and the email. So if you check these orders too, you can see that we have the order ID, the customer ID, the order date, the order total. So that when you want to join the tables together, you make reference to those names that are similar. And if they are not similar, they must have the same data type. So mostly we don't normally use it like that, but in some cases whereby you want to write a logic so that a query that involves you joining two tables together to have a one particular table. So that is most times we normally use it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So for now, I said select the orders. This is the name of the table, orders and customers. So I said, okay, in the fresh table that I want to use, I want you to select the orders, the order ID from the orders, the first name from the customer, the last name from the customer, the order date from the orders, the order total from the orders from customers. You might tell him to put orders first. He said from orders, so it's going to take it. You know, that's one doesn't mean and change it inner join. The inner join is that okay, you want to join it with what? Table
I think you're
customer.
going too fast though.
Okay. What I did just like
You're going
I
too
said,
fast. I'm getting
okay.
missing.
I said the orders dot the table name dot the column that you want to pick from that table name, which is the order ID. You go through the second table that you want to join together, which is the customers. You pick the first name from the customers table. You pick the last name from the customers table. You also pick the order date.
Let's start from the beginning. Select order ID. So this orders is from the first table. Order ID is from the second table.
No.
Right?
No. These orders is a table name, which is this one. Yeah.
Which is which one? Okay,
This
that one.
one.
Yeah.
And under these orders, you have this column, order ID.
Okay.
So this is one. The order ID, you pick it from the orders table. Do you understand that?
Okay.
You move on to customers table. Under this, these are the columns under the customers table. The customer ID, the first name, the last name, and the email. So under the customers, you pick the first name from there because you want to join them together. You want to join the orders table and the customer table together. So you want to pick those ones that you need from each table and join them together. That's what you want to do.
Okay.
So after that, I pick the first name. I move on to that same customer's table. I pick the last name. And I move back to orders table. I pick the order date. This is it. Orders. You know, we have orders date there. I picked it. I want it to be there. If at all if you don't need the order total, you might not pick it. It is those columns that you need that you are going to pick. So from here now, after I picked the orders total, I said what? From orders. You might said from customers. That one doesn't mean it won't work. But you might say, okay, I decided, okay, it's from orders I want to pick. If you can see now from this customer, you can see I did not pick the email. So the email will not appear inside the join table that I want to join together, the orders table and the customers table. So, and I said what? Inner join customers. So from this inner join function, you've already joined the customers to these orders so that the customer's first name, last names will appear. Do you understand?
Small.
Okay. We now said, let me just clear this by. So I said on to the particular function on orders dot customer ID is equals to customers dot customer ID, in which I said they must have the same column name. This is it, the column name that exists in both tables. So that's going to be the one that will verify the connection between the orders table and the customers table. Let me start again. I said
Okay.
you select now from orders table, we have the order ID, we have the customer ID, we have the order date, we have the order total. And I said, see, we want to create a fresh table. We want to join orders table and customers table together. And we want to select some columns that are important that we want. We want to select it, not that we want to jump pack everything together. No. And we said, okay, let us decide together and pick the order ID, the order date, and the order total. That is what we did here. The order ID, the order date, and the order total. We pick the one that we want to pick from the orders table. We move on to the customers. I said, okay, from the customers table, let us pick only the first name and the last name. So from here, I said the customers table, we pick only the first name and the last name. We now said from where? From orders. So this from orders we take care of this order ID, order date, and order total. We now said inner join because we want to join two tables together. We said inner join customers. The inner join customer will take care of the customer's first name and the last name. We now said on order.customer ID, we want to look for a relationship that exists between the customers and the orders. And when we see the relationship that exists, then we find that okay, it is the customer that exists between the it is the customer ID that exists between the customers and the what? The orders. Because everybody that will have to order will have to be a customer. I don't know if I'm communicating.
Yes. Yeah.
So that is why we said orders.customer ID is equals to customers.what? Customer ID. Because for every customer that's going to make an order, if customer doesn't exist, the orders will not exist. So that is just a simple explanation. So we can, after this, I will tell you another way that we normally do it when we want to write a project or when you're working on a big project. So from now, let me just try and execute this first and let us see the output. So you can see that we can see the order ID, the first name, the last name, order date, and the order total. It has joined the two tables together. So assuming that okay, you said you don't want to see the last name there. I cleared the last name. You only want to see the first name in the new table that you are joining together. You can see.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm coming.
But I thought we concatenated the first name and the last name. I thought we were supposed to have the first name and the last name.
I'm sorry, give me just 1 second. I'll be back now.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back. What are you saying the other time?
You know, before you wrote inner join customers on orders dot customer ID group by first name. Was that wrong?
It
Because
wasn't wrong. It wasn't wrong. I was just trying to group them by the first name. Now that is what the group by does. Maybe you want to group a particular tables together. It was not right. It's still the same output that it's going to bring.
okay.
Yeah. So it's still the same output. When you don't worry, when you create that database that I said I'm going to give you, we'll make use of the group by as well. So group by is just like, okay, maybe you have a certain column and you want to group them by one of those columns. So and that's just about the inner join, and also we'll talk about the primary key and the foreign key. What the foreign key does is just like it assists you in joining two tables together, the parent table and the child table. Parent table in the sense that a customer is like a parent table, while others is like a child table. Because if the customer doesn't exist, there is no way others is going to exist. Yesterday I've done that, so I'll just show you. So when you have access to the video, you are going to see it. Because this is a customer table. It has the ID, the first name, the last name, and the email. This is the orders table. Has what the customer ID, the order date, and other things. We call these ones one-to-many relationship because one customer can have so many orders. So in the relationship, I think we've talked about the relationship before.
Yeah.
So this was like a one-to-many relationship because one customer can order for so many goods. So with the help of the connection that is going to bring them together, you make use of the foreign key. This is the foreign key here, and I've done that before. You can name this part any name that you want. But the reference table is going to be the parent table. It's going to be the parent table, while this column is meant for the child table, which is the order table, while the reference column is meant for the parent table. Because
please, can you go again? I'm not getting you, please.
Okay, I said for foreign key, we have the foreign key name, the reference table, we have the column, and we have the reference column. This foreign key name, we can name it anything.
Well, why would you make a key? Why would you make a value a foreign key?
What did you say?
Why would you make a value a foreign key?
Why would you make a value?
Yes, why would you make a value a foreign key? Why would
we make its function is just like you want to link the two tables together. You want to link the parent table and the child table together. That is why you make the foreign key. It is the help of the foreign key that will enable you to link them together, to make sure relationship exists between them. That's why I said it is a one-to-many relationship. One customer can have access to many others.
Okay.
So that's why I said this reference table is going to represent the parent table, which is the customer. And this column here, this is the order table, which is the child table. And I have the reference column as well. This is the column whereby we have the order, the customer ID, order date. So because you are referencing that customer ID that is representing the parent table inside the child table. So you want to link them together. That's what we did here. And one of the factors that can enable them to work is that they must have the same data type. If they don't have the same data type, it will flag an error. So, and after you reference this column, don't worry, the previous video, it is there the way I did it, so you see it also there. I'm just trying to give you an overview so that when you see it, you understand much better. So we set these foreign key options. What this foreign key option does, we have the on update and we have the on delete. We put this cascade there. You can see we have the restrict, the cascade, to set no action. What this restrict does is that it's going to restrict it to a particular table. It might only restrict it to the child table alone without touching the parent table. But on this cascade has made it efficient to the extent that, okay, if you are updating the child table, it's going to make that same effect with the parent table, since there is a linkage already. This on delete, if you are deleting it, is going to make reference to that parent table, since you have already linked them together already. So that is what That is what the foreign key does. So it's just like it brings a relationship between two tables together. It enables them to work together.
Oh, okay.
So that is all about, let's say for now, that's all about database and the like. So when you come up, I'll give once I'm done now, I'm going to type the assignment and send it to your WhatsApp. So that tomorrow it's going to be an interactive session that will cover everything once and for all.
Oh, okay. That'll be fine.
So and if there's any question, we'll tackle it, and so you'll be the one sharing your screen tomorrow.
Okay. No problem.
I don't know. I'm done with the class, so I don't know, maybe Oluwafemi have some things to add as well.
I don't think it's there.
So I will send
Yeah.
that. Okay. Is there any addition or subtraction?
No. Sorry. No additional question.
I think that's all for the class. So by tomorrow, so we'll just do the overview of everything. I'll send you the table, we'll create database, we'll work on the functions and the likes together.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.